Good day. We're going to bring you a nice bass bug here today. It's my Lunker bait that I come up with. It fishes very well, pushes a lot of water, got a weed guard on it. I can run it in the vegetation where the big bass live. This fly has got a lot of movement and got all the attributes. I like the subtle head, not too loud, and also got a nice white and chartreuse color combination on the tail. Let's go over the materials we need to tie the fly. I'm going to be using some 3/0 yellow flat thread to tie with. I'm going to finish this all up with some Mirage eyes. These are 3/8 inch Mirage. We're going to use some 40 pounds, some nice stiff leader material of some sort for a weed guard. And then we'll get into the materials. The tail, I'm going to be using some craft fur. This is going to be white and chartreuse craft fur. The over top of the tail, I'm going to be using some rusty olive angel hair. The side of the tail, we'll be using some lateral scale. That's a nice pearl lateral scale. And also for the mid body, we're going to be using some fluorescent fire orange polymer chenille. And the top, the nice little secret sauce, this is this barred kind of a craft fur. It's shorter than the extra select. I bought this in a craft store somewhere down in Florida, I believe. And if you don't have this color, you can make it up if you have tan. Just draw the bars on there with your marker pen and a ruler. You can make that all work. You might want to have a hair packer along for this deal. Okay, let's get out here and get the hook in the vise, which I'm going to be using a bass stinger hook. This is light wire. I'm going to fish this fly unweighted. What you can do also, I would suggest if you want some weighted flies, just do the same pattern, but put some fluorescent cones on the front, then some 35 thou lead on the shank. That'll get her down. That'll help you out too. I'm going to fish this one with more of a sink tip line or a full sink line and get it down. I like to keep these unweighted flies in front of these ambush feeders as long as I can, and that's why I'm a big proponent of unweighted streamers. Okay, I'm just going to coat the shank here with my thread. We'll come on here with the weed guard. We're just going to make sure we keep the same contour as it comes off the roll. I want to fight that. Tie it on the top of the shank. Now when we come around to the bend here, we're going to tie it right around the corner, right down, quite a ways down. Then we'll bring it back, tight turns up. And we'll do the tie off position here right at the point. Now what I'll do here is I'll take this weed guard and I'm going to measure it right there. I'm also going to bring in my little plier. I'm going to tie it on the bottom later, but here I'm going to flatten the end out and then that'll tie underneath here. Okay, just measure that. That's a little bit long. I'm going to nip that and just do that once more. Tip it down there. See how that looks. It's easier to do it right now. Yeah, that'll be good. All right. Now we'll come in here with our white extra select craft fur for the tail. We take out some of the guard or the bottom fuzz out of it. Leave a little in there. Tie that on this one side. Tie smaller patches in there so they get a good grab. Take a little bit of that out. Actually got quite a bit of that out. I might have to put 3 bunches on here. It took too much under fur. Want to make sure we got a nice tail that this craft fur really swims nice. I'll tie this one on the top. There we go. Then we'll come in with some chartreuse. Tie that on top. I'm going to leave a lot of that bulk in there this time, and that'll really flare that out, give it a nice shape. Wrap these butts down. There we go. And we'll come in here with some of this lateral scale. Nice flashaboo that is crimped. Looks really good on streamers. I'm going to tie that on the far side. What I do is I'll just pull that, I'll leave that butt, there's about a 1/4 inch long, and then I just flip it over, and that way it ties it over itself and won't pull out. Show you that on this side. I tie it just a little bit, just leave a little bit right there. Push that forward, and there we go. It's tied over itself. That's good. That'll keep it a lot stronger. Make sure we haven't got anything sticking out too far, like that one right there. Snip it off. Okay. Some of them I put feathers, and also I've done some crystal flash in there. It doesn't swim quite as much. It's still a good fly, but I like this one here. It's gonna be as soft as possible, really breathable. I'm taking this rusty olive angel hair, which is super soft materials. Tie that on the length of the tail. Shorten it up just a little bit here, and then this I'll come over the top. Give a little extra here. That gives us a real nice start to our fly, a nice foundation. And that gives us, our tail is done. Now we're going to come in here with some of this barred craft fur. I'll pull a little of that out. And go on the top. Kind of a wing. Tie these butts down. This flat thread is a little bit slippery, so you just got to pull down on it quite hard. You don't have to cover that all up. That'll form part of the wing, comes back over the top a little bit. That's okay. I just want to make sure it's on top, that I don't hinder the colors of my chartreuse or my white. And then I'll come in with the under color here. This kind of looks really fishy under the water. This is it. I like this Palmer chenille underneath. Just keep working that forward. There we go. I don't even need to cut that off. There's very little in there. That's a really nice bright Palmer chenille in there. Get lots of turns. Make sure that ain't coming loose on you. There we go. Then I'll come in with some more, another my barred brown on top. Kind of stagger that forward. Come about 1/4 inch, about a 1/4 inch ahead of the other one. Cut off some of these butts so we don't get it too lumpy. We can still tie that down a little bit. I'm going to come in with another nice piece. Clean it out again. I'll just trim that up a little bit. Another 1/4 inch ahead. Keep it on the top. There we go. We'll leave quite a bit of room with the head for now. I'm going to turn this upside down, and we'll bring in some weight for the belly. Make sure we get all the under fur out of there. I want to cut it off pretty straight. Come right in here. We're going to just tie it on the bottom. Make sure it comes right around to the brown. A little bit more on there. A little bit light on that. I don't want too much on it. I want that pink to show through like it does. There. Now we come about, I've got about 3/4 inch here, so I'm just going to wind this down. I'm going to put my collar on. I'm going to reverse style this. Get some more of our barred craft fur. I'm going to bring in a comb here, just make sure I get it all combed out really good so I can tie this in reverse style. You put a patch on the bottom. Another one, about the same size, will go on the top. You can tie more on and then kind of give it a soft loop and it'll go right around with you as well. That's, if you're good with your thread control, you can do it all in one swoop. I'm just showing you how to stack some on the top, some on the bottom. And then we're going to just reverse that and that'll make a nice bulky collar. Okay, so it's going to come back. It's going to cover all that up. Get our thread kind of snuck through here. There we go. And then we can push our collar back. That's where this hair packer, make it really nice. And then I get started in behind the eye. Now when I get this flat thread, it'll start building a head up. I'm pushing it back and make sure you don't lose control there, because you gotta stick that hook through your finger and it does sting. Okay, now I'm going to turn it upside down again. I'll bring my mono guard. I've got that prepared. Just catch that in right at the bottom of the eye. Barely catch it in there. It's flat, so I can tie it down good. It's going to get epoxy on it as well, so I'm just going to take my packer and throw a half hitch in there. Throw another one at the back. Another one at the back. And there's your whip finish. Okay, that's good. Now, come in here just to finalize all that up with some epoxy. Got some Solarez bone dry on here, nice. And this is one to come ahead on you a little bit, so I'll show you just a little trick when you're doing your epoxy. Put a little bit on the hair there too. And then when you pull it back, it'll stay in that shape. Pull it just a wee little bit on that hair. You can barely see it. I'll get my torch. I'm getting a little trouble with my switch. There we go. Now when I bring it in here, it's going to retain the shape. Got a nice big bulky head on it. I'm going to cure that UV up, and that'll really pulsate in the water. It's going to look really, really good. So we'll get our eyes. I'm just going to stick them on there right now with my, they have a little, they are sticky, but they're not going to stay on very well unless we reinforce it. And what I do with that, when I do all my streamers with these eyes like this, these molded eyes, what I use, and you can use whatever you like, but I'd recommend this UV resistant marine goop. I use that all the time. And just put a little dollop on the end of your needle. And what I'll do and I'll put it on where I want my eyeball to be. And then I'll stick the eyeball on top of that. It goes right into the goop. And it stays right in there, runs into the hair a little bit, retains the shape of your bait, and it's super durable. I've never lost an eye yet. And then saltwater fishing or whatever, they are very, very bulletproof when we get that marine goop on there. So that's it. My little lunker bait, and I'll tell you, it'll get some really nice bass to the boat for you there. If you haven't tried bass fishing, you're something you want to get out and get to it. So all the best to you. Thanks again for watching.